Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Ditch Decade Diets podcast. I am your host, Lorna, certified food freedom coach and founder of the Ditch Decade Diets Academy. I've spent 10 years in an unhealthy relationship with food, binge eating, over-exercising, and feeling insecure in my body. This podcast is all about helping you get to the root of your food struggles and teaching you how to rewire your brain so you can end binge eating. If you're ready to improve your relationship with food and cultivate more self-love towards yourself and your health, this is the podcast for you. So let's get to it and jump right in. We are also on day 15 of this 30-day TikTok series on how to stop binge eating. So as you guys are dropping your questions down below, hey Melinda, I am going to share what day 15 is all about. So drop your questions below because that's how I'll answer them. But day 15 is all about having self-belief. I've been talking about this a lot on my social media, on my Instagram. The people who conquer binge eating have strong belief in themselves. They believe that it's possible to stop binge eating, no matter how long they struggle with it for. They believe that it's possible to build up self-trust, no matter how many years they've never trusted themselves around trigger foods. The people who conquer binge eating have self-belief that they can get back in tune with their hunger and fullness cues, even if it feels like it's muted and it's blocked and I can't hear when I'm hungry and I don't know when I'm full. They believe that they can get their hunger and fullness cues back. The people who conquer binge eating believe that it's possible to change their thoughts. It's possible to feel amazing in their own skin while having a healthy relationship with food. The people who conquer binge eating believe in themselves, so they show up every single day and they trust this process. Because when you don't believe in yourself, it feels like, what's the point of trying? When you don't believe that you can do something, how do you feel? When you believe that like, oh, I can't do that, or it's too challenging for me, number one, you don't even try. Or number two, you like talk yourself out of it. So you're having a strong urge to binge. And if in the back of your mind, you don't believe that you can conquer binge eating, you believe, oh my gosh, my urges are so much more powerful over me. You don't even try to not give in to your urges because you're like, well, I'm just going to give in. When you're home, when you get the house to yourself, your husband goes to work and you're like, yes, I have the house to myself. But you're like, well, I always binge when I'm home alone. I don't believe that I don't actually believe that I could be home alone and not binge. So you literally, as soon as your partner leaves the house, you literally start binging because you don't believe that it's even possible for you. When you don't believe that it's possible for you, you don't try out tools. You're not open to a new approach. You just say, no, that's not going to work for me. No, I've tried so many different things. And that's self-sabotage. You literally keep yourself stuck in these cycles because you're not willing to do things differently. And obviously this is not you. I know that this is not you, but I'm just saying that people who believe in themselves, they aren't willing to do things differently and they literally sabotage themselves. Oh, not giving into my binge urges is too hard. So you don't even bother trying to not give in, you just give in. You haven't binged for 2 days, but you're like, oh, well, it's not possible for me. I'm probably going to have another binge tomorrow. Yeah, Jennifer says so true. And by the way, if you guys are here, please drop your questions in the chat for me. Any questions you have about binge eating, I will answer a few. Now, on the flip side, all of you guys listening are freaking badasses who believe in yourself and who are willing to trust the process. And when you believe in yourself, it can still feel challenging. Like, you don't have to believe that like you're going to conquer binge eating tomorrow. But when you believe in yourself, you're willing to try out different tools. You don't just say, oh, I've tried everything. Yeah, nothing's going to work. You're more open. You're like, okay, well, look, I just know deep down that I can do this. So I'm willing to try anything at this point. Like, okay, if I need to change my thoughts, if I need to change how I'm speaking to myself, if I need to do, some breathing techniques or shaking and movement to help me not give into my urges, like I'm willing to do that. If you haven't binged in 2 days, Instead of freaking out and be like, oh my gosh, like what's happening? This isn't who I am. Like this is impossible for me. You're like, oh, okay, I'm on my way. You're excited. You're excited. You're like in this momentum versus, well, it's probably not going to last. Well, I'm probably going to have binge tomorrow. Yeah, well, going out for dinner tonight, so that's probably a write-off. When you believe in yourself, you conquer binge eating because you show up differently and you take action. You don't say, oh, this isn't going to work. Oh my God, this is not for me. Like you're a freaking badass and you're willing to change your thoughts. You're willing to practice not giving into your urges because you actually believe that it's possible. It doesn't feel so far away. Okay, I'm going to go into the chat and answer some questions. So Laura, if you have any questions, Tasha, if you have any questions. Okay, I binge after every 17 to 18 days. I'm trying to eliminate it, but I have an urge after every 2 weeks. Okay, so what are you trying to do to get rid of your urges? Because so I actually have a podcast episode on this. It is episode, if you guys want to listen to it, it is episode 547 and also 545. I would listen to episode 545 on the Ditch Decade Diets podcast. So the reason most people can go, a few weeks without binging and then they have another binge is for two main reasons. So number one, just what I was talking about is this belief aspect. If you believe ending binge eating is not possible for me, if you believe I'm a self-sabotager, if you believe I'm not consistent, if you keep telling yourself that I binge every single 2 weeks, that's going to be your reality. And then if you go maybe 19 days, it's like, whoa, no, this isn't who I am. Normally I binge every 2 weeks, so this isn't who I am. And then you literally sabotage because you're identifying yourself as somebody who binges every 7 to 18 days. So this is why changing your beliefs is so important. But also the second reason why this typically happens where you can have, maybe not binges for a few weeks and then have a binge is because I'm going to keep saying drop your questions until you guys drop your questions. The second reason is if you're not actually getting rid of your urges and you're just managing them. So again, I talked about this on the podcast episode 545, but if you are trying to distract yourself, trying to stay busy, trying to drink a lot of water and tea, you are trying to go to bed early, you're brushing your teeth when you feel the urge to binge, you are just managing your urges. You don't actually get rid of them. And that is why after 2 weeks, the urge is still there because you didn't get rid of it. It's just a Band-Aid solution. So let me know who asked this question. Melodious? I think that's how I say it. It's a beautiful name. Let me know what you're trying to do to get rid of your urges because, and I was so guilty of this in the past, I would just try to not give in. I would try to distract myself. I would try to go to bed early. I would book yoga classes and I would just try to always stay so busy and fill up my schedule in hopes that I wouldn't binge and I would get lucky and I wouldn't binge for, a few days or even a few weeks. But because if you don't get rid of your urges, they're going to still pop up. Okay, keep dropping your questions down below. Big eye opener for me hearing this. I'm so glad. If you had a light bulb moment, drop a me in the chat. Jennifer says, how do you get rid of an urge? This is a really good question. So getting rid of your urges is a combination of a few things. Number one, you need to practice not giving into your urges. So not through distracting yourself, not through staying busy, because none of those things change your body's physical state. So instead of distracting yourself or staying busy, you want to do things that change your body's physical state. So for example, either breath work, shaking, like shaking your body movement, getting your heart rate up, hopping in a cold shower. Those are all things that you can use the moment that an urge comes on that will help you to not give in. And when you don't give into your urges, guess what's happening? You're reprogramming your brain. You are weakening the neural pathways in your brain. You're weakening those urges so they're less strong every single time that you don't give in. The more consistent you are with that, the less urges you're going to have, and eventually you stop feeling them. But also, you got to prevent the urge from arising in the first place. So you need to have satisfying meals. You need to honor your cravings so that you don't have any urges, because if you don't honor your cravings, that's what the craving turns into an urge, and then you get to a point where you're like, I have to give in. You need to make sure that you're eating regularly enough throughout the day, because if you're not eating regularly throughout the day, you're going to have these strong urges. So those are a few different ways of actually getting rid of your binge urges. Okay, what other questions do we have? Hey, Dara, do we have any other questions? They could be about self-belief, which I just talked about today. It could be any questions that you guys have, but you know, self-belief is so important, you guys. Like, the people who believe in themselves, they conquer binge eating. And I'm going to be talking about this inside of my upcoming program, Master Your Mind for a Binge-Free Life. It's an entire program on how to shift your identity out of binge eating, how to actually believe that you're somebody who can conquer binge eating, how to get out of the all or nothing mentality. If you feel like you can do well with your food for a few days and you always self-sabotage, there's probably some limiting beliefs there. There's probably the all or nothing mentality. There's self-sabotage going. So if you're interested in that program, it's actually on early bird pricing for the next 2 days. So you can just message me, Master Your Mind, and I will send you all the details for that. Hi, Casey. Okay, any other questions, you guys? Like, literally, this is your opportunity to ask me any questions. Normally, you have to like be in a program to ask me a question. So take advantage. What questions do you guys have? Let's see who else is on here. If there's no questions, that's totally fine, but I'm sure you guys have questions. Valentini, do you have a question? Nurse Alvarez, do you have a question? Tasha, do you have a question? What is it like to be in one of your programs? Oh my gosh. Well, you got to come inside to see. We have so much fun in every single one of my programs. You feel like a freaking badass because you have all the tools that you need to not give into your urges, to eat without guilt, to no longer think about food. You feel so supported because you're part of a community of other people who are crushing it, other people who are having binge-free months. You know, there's people in all my programs that are in different places, whether it's like, I haven't binged in 2 months, I haven't binged in 5 months, or, you know, I'm no longer binging. I'm doing a little bit of overeating still, but I don't even remember the last time that I binged. So you are literally surrounding yourself with other people, Riley, who are conquering. And when you're surrounding yourself with people who are doing what you want to do, not only is it so much more like motivation, you just feel hope, you feel excitement. And then also, because this journey is not linear, of course, there's going to be times where maybe you've just binged. And then to have this support from the community is so important. Like, one of the ladies that I'm working right now, she's inside of Conquer, our program. And she said, like, she had a binge, and she's like, but I'm not beating myself up. I'm just posting here for accountability. I'm going to extract the lessons. Tomorrow's a brand new day. And everyone's like cheering her on and supporting her. And this is how you stay in momentum. When you're trying to, like, you know, try to do this on your own, it can feel so defeating. And then you don't have any tools to like pick yourself back up, or you don't have a community to cheer you back on. So being in my programs is fun. We have a lot of fun. You learn very actionable steps to conquer binge eating. Like, this is not quick fix solutions like, oh, just distract yourself and just keep trigger foods out of the house. Like, this is actually getting rid of your binge urges, reprogramming your brain, no longer feeling the urge to binge, no longer thinking about food 24/7, being able to go to a restaurant on a random Tuesday afternoon without guilt. So we have lots of fun, lots of celebrations. The whole community just celebrates you all the time, and it's a lot of fun. So Riley, if you want to work together, just message me on my Instagram and I can share the different programs that I have. Okay. Hey, Nicole, any other questions that you guys have? Amazing questions. Madison, do you have a question? I'll stay on for a little bit longer. And I have a few different program options. So if any of you guys are wondering, like, how do I work with you? Like, everything that you say resonates with me and I'm ready to stop binge eating. Like, I'm willing to put in the work. Like, I'm ready to do what it takes. And I just need to figure out what program would be best for me. Just message me on my Instagram and I'll share all the different programs that I have. Hey, Nellie, do you have a question? We're doing a little Q&A. If not, we're going to wrap up. How are you guys with self-belief? Where are you at with your self-belief? So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning like I 100% believe that I can conquer binge eating, and a 1 is like, I don't believe I can. Where are you at on a scale of 1 to 10? Drop it in the chat. So like 10, heck yes, I believe I can conquer. I believe anything is possible. I can freaking do this. I'm a freaking badass. And 1 is, I don't believe that I can conquer. Where are you at? Drop it in the chat. I like things to be interactive. It would be great if you guys want to drop something in the chat. A 6? Ooh, okay. All right. And Madison, what do you believe that you need to get you to a 10? It's always interesting. There's not a right or wrong answer. You know, when I was on my journey at the beginning, I didn't think it was possible for me to stop binge eating because I struggled with it for so long and I felt like nobody understood me, like nobody else was probably going through this. And I just felt broken. Like I honestly thought like, I don't know, I'm just going to struggle with this whole binge eating thing for the rest of my life. And then as soon as I was, part of a community of other people and they were, letting me know that they were going through the same thing as me, and I was seeing other people firsthand conquering and like getting rid of their urges and just eating without impulse and, having 1 or 2 cookies without spiraling out of control. I'm like, okay, like I gotta believe that it's possible for me. And the moment that I started actually believing that I could do this too was the moment that I started having less binges. And again, this is why I talked about what I talked about at the beginning. When you believe that you can do it, it's like you try. You're like, okay, like it's possible for me. Like I can do this, versus when you don't believe in yourself, you're just like, I'm broken, nothing's gonna work. And it's like, that's not you. That's not you guys. I have to give myself balance and let myself have it sometimes. Yes, 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 yes. Finding balance is so important. All right, you guys, it doesn't look like there's any other questions, but thanks for popping on. This is day 15 of this 30-day TikTok series. So I'm going live every single day for 30 days at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So feel free to come on and join me. I'm also doing a giveaway on my podcast. So if you rate and review the Ditch Decade Diets podcast and you just take a screenshot and then you message me, you're going to be entered to win a masterclass bundle. So I give you a masterclass bundle for free. It's on how to rewire your brain out of binge eating, how to stop eating when you're full, and how to fully transition yourself out of binge eating. So I already gave 4 people that masterclass bundle, and I'm going to be choosing 2 more people this week. So if you want to leave a rating and review on the Ditch Decade Diets podcast, take a screenshot and just message it to me over on my Instagram. You'll be entered to win. The feedback from these masterclasses that I've given these people have been insane. Somebody joined that bundle and then they upgraded to my membership because they're like, this information is so freaking good. Like I need to work with you for longer. So she joined my 6-month membership. She's like, if I learned all of this in like these 3 masterclasses, like I can't wait to see what we can do together for 6 months. So I'm very, very excited. So you can go ahead and enter that giveaway by rating and reviewing the podcast. All right, you guys. Well, that is everything for today. So I will see you guys again tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for day 16. Have an amazing rest of your day, you guys, and we'll see you guys soon.